a guess at what a lifestyle business actually is, drop it in the comments. I'd love to see what those of you what you think that actually means. I think the internet entrepreneur bros kind of created this misconceived notion of what it actually means, and a lot of people are getting stuck in their businesses as a result of that. So before we dive in, I know Ben has a tremendous, a lot of information and feelings about this topic. So before we do, I want to show you a quick highlight reel from our recent live event. Check it out.
It's going to be amazing. I know the team has poured their heart and soul into what's going to unfold here over these next 3 days.
At our core, we wanted to help make people's lives better. We wanted to give people the resources, the training, the confidence, and the belief in themselves to actually be able to start to live life on their own terms, be able to control what it is that they get to do in life, free to choose how it is that they live their life, and most importantly, be able to choose who they help, how they help them, and most importantly, when they get to help these people.
Realize that $100,000 per month is not more work, it's more leverage.
So if you're going through a challenging leg within your business right now, just know that is a blessing. That's a blessing that is for you to help shape you into the version of yourself that you need to be.
Gives me chills every single time I watch that. I absolutely freaking love it. So one of the big things that we took away from that event is that a lot of people have no idea what a lifestyle business actually is or what it is that they're actually capable of. Ben, you wanna chat about lifestyle business with me for a little bit?
Yeah, no, I think it's an important topic to talk about because it's a trap that I kind of fell into as well. I think there's a lot of people that oversell and overhype a lifestyle business. You can achieve a lifestyle business, but it's not, in my opinion, through the mode that it's hyped up to be. So yeah, I think it's important to kind of define what a lifestyle business is and what a lot of people hype it up to be. For me, what I thought a lifestyle business was, what a lot of people hyped up was, you essentially just create a job for yourself. You treat 3 days worth of patients, and then that's it. You can live off of 3 days worth of patients. You treat about 15, 20 patients, and you were able to replace your income. Great. Now you can kind of just do whatever you want the rest of the 4 days. And that's just simply not the truth and the reality of it. I promise there's nothing lifestyle about it. That was actually the most challenging time within my practice. It was when I was working the hardest, and it's when I was working the longest, because the reality is it's not just treating 3 days worth of patients. Okay, how do you get those 3 days worth of patients? How do you keep those 3 days worth of patients? Patients get better, they discharge. So you have to do all the marketing to get the people in the door. You have to do workshops on the weekday evenings. You have to do workshops on the weekends. You have to do all the sales, all the phone calls. You have to follow up with leads. You have to do all the scheduling, all the rescheduling, patient care, taxes, everything it takes, keeping up with everything from a legal standpoint and everything that goes into running a business. It's not just simply treating 3 days worth of patients and then you can do whatever you want the rest of the 4 days. And that's unfortunately what's been really hyped up about a lifestyle business. And I promise you, it's the opposite of a lifestyle business. I'm working 60, 80 hours. Yeah, I was only treating 3 days worth of patients, but yeah, you got to work 60, 80 hours to be able to maintain that caseload. So I just want to kind of dismiss or kind of shed light on the reality of that, because that's what I thought I wanted. And I got into them this is miserable. There's nothing lifestyle about this.
Yeah, most physical therapists who are leaving their jobs to go and start their own practice, they're getting sold this plate of bull that life is so much better as a business owner and to start their solo practice, never realizing that in most scenarios, their life becomes substantially worse once they actually start their own business. Sure, you might not have a boss and you might be able to set your own hours, but at the end of the day, as you said, Ben, you are taking on a tremendous amount of responsibility. You are now playing the owner, the clinic director, the treating PT, and you have all of these additional burdens that are placed on top of you, in addition to the weight of being able to provide for your family. And what it creates is a bunch of people trading in their old boss for a much, much crazier boss, you, because you have to work insane hours. And for the most part, you're making substantially less money. And so, sure, you get to work from home some days, but you're working hard, and the amount of stress to make sure that you're able to keep up with the ebbs and flows of business are crushing for most people. And because they're sold this vision that you can have this lifestyle business as a solo practitioner in your business, they're quickly finding out that that just isn't the case. And so because they think that's what entrepreneurship is, they're deciding that this isn't for them. They're either going back to jobs that didn't value them, didn't respect them, didn't appreciate them, or they're completely leaving the industry altogether just because they never had a real picture of what they're capable of accomplishing and what running a real business is all about. Because essentially all they're becoming are contractors. And but yeah, basically just contractors where now they're responsible for the marketing, the sales, the operations, the fulfillment of the physical therapy. And that is just a crushing place to live. Can't tell you how many people that we've worked with and who came to the live event recently who felt like they were trapped within their business because they finally validated that they had what it took to fill their schedule and go all in on their practice. They validated themselves that they can do that, but that's quickly followed up by a punch in the mouth when they realize just how stuck they actually are compared to how they were before, because now they have to do all of these things. And if they stop for even a week, for even a few days, their entire business comes crashing down around them. And they end up more chained to their business and to their job than they ever were before.
Yeah, 100% on with that too. And it's because you're actually decreasing the value of your hourly rate. Like if you take a job and you make $100,000 and you work 40 hours, you've got X rate, hourly rate. But if you go on your own and you replace your income, but now you're working 60 to 80 hours instead of 40, your hourly rate is actually less. So we're working more for the same amount of money. And there's a lot more stress associated with that too. Because even those hours I wasn't technically working during those 60 to 80 hours, outside of that, it was really stressful. My mind was still stuck on the business, and I wasn't able to completely unplug. So it's not a fun place to be. And right. It's crazy that's being hyped up so much. And people are getting to that spot and pretty spooked and freaked out, rightfully so.
And so what's happening to people over and over and over again, we're seeing this happen at an increasing rate as people either start their own practices or leave the industry entirely, is they start their practice, and right now, like, they can only see as far into their future as trying to fill their schedule. Do I have what it takes to build this business on my own? Can I prove to myself, my former boss, my former colleagues, as well as my family, that I can start my own business and succeed? And they never think about what comes afterwards when they actually do get busy. Because once you're busy, sure, that is the first milestone, but now you're in the riskiest place that you can be, because now you're all in. And if anything slows down, you're stuck. And most people are burning out because they're staying there. And what they ended up doing is they became a slave to the machine that they built. And now they're questioning if this is really what they want to do for the rest of their lives, not realizing that there's a phase 2 and a phase 3 that they need to follow. And so what we've seen happen over and over again, people who had never intended to be an entrepreneur, starting their practice, using our systems to fill their schedule and get busy. And then after 2 to 3 months of being consistently full, they're starting to realize it's like, oh my God, this is so much work. I don't have enough time to keep up with all the things that I need to do. And sometimes people just think that's the way it is until someone tells them that's like, now you're ready for phase 2, which is actually building the business, building the systems, building the operations to make the things that you did to get that busy sustainable and repeatable and predictable moving forward. And so there's 3 phases that every business owner goes through. And whether you think you want to build a team or not, we've seen every single person with consistency end up eventually evolving into the other phases. So phase 1 is building the service, proving that you have something that is sellable and that people are interested in buying. That's when you get your schedule full. Okay. So now you're a job owner. Phase 2 is actually building the systems, the operations, and the predictability into that service to turn it into an actual business. And if that business is any good, then you get to move on to phase 3. Phase 3 is where things really start to get exciting, where you really start to unlock the true lifestyle business potential that you can create for yourself, that Ben has been able to create for himself, that I've been able to create for myself, where instead of building the business, you're not focused on building the team that builds the business. Because the situation that you're finding yourself into, maybe if you're listening to this right now, is if you have a full schedule within your business, you're one emergency away from going completely broke and having no source of income and having no protection. And so people are realizing now that they have a full schedule, it's like, oh my gosh, this is actually a substantially scarier place to be, far more work, and it would actually be easier and far safer to take that next step to build systems, to build SOPs, and build the foundation that can support a team. Because once you build the team, that's how you truly buy your time back. And that's when your practice goes from just being a service that you're providing to an asset that can produce for you long term that actually allows you to buy back your time. So Ben, can you paint a picture of what a lifestyle business is actually supposed to be?
Yeah. So in my opinion, the best way to create a lifestyle business is actually by pulling yourself out of your business. I have the luxury, like I work like 40, 60 hours, but because I choose to do that, this is what I love to do. I could pull myself out of the business. Like there's been multiple weeks where I'm like, hey, I want to go on a trip, want to go on vacation. I work less than 5 hours for that week. Everything runs just as smoothly. Do we grow as quickly as if I'm working 40, 60? Not as much, but it still grows even if I'm not in it. I just want to accelerate, and this is what I love doing. So I work 40, 60 hours because I choose to, but I don't have to. I could work five or less hours a week. And so I want to ask you guys, what is the better lifestyle business? The one where you're doing literally everything in it, or that you built a team to leverage their time and their expertise so you can get your time back and have whatever lifestyle that you want.
Right. The easiest way that I've come to define it is, and this is what we've wanted from the very beginning, since I started my first business when I was 19 years old, is I want to help who I want, how I want, and most importantly, whenever I want. And if you don't have the choice to choose who, how, and when, you don't have control and leverage over your life. Now, a lot of people, when we say like buy back your time, remove yourself from treatment, they see that as like, well, what would I do? I don't want to just do nothing. What Ben just illustrated is even though we don't have to work, we do because we love the art of problem solving. We love building things. We love creating momentum. We love helping other people change their lives. And in order to help more people change their lives, we need to continuously be working on ourselves. And so having a lifestyle business doesn't mean we're sitting on the beach drinking mimosas. Lifestyle business is all about having the choice to go and do that and being able to do that if you wanted to. But then ultimately, religiously, relentlessly working on yourself and working on your business to continue to build that momentum, to see how far it is that we can actually go within our business and within our practices and how much big of an impact we can actually create. And so it's all about freedom, the freedom to choose ultimately and have that flexibility to be able to start to invest into other areas of your life. Because even if you get a business, a practice successful and you're doing $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month, or like Ben, where you're, what are you doing now, Ben? 150?
We just did 179 last month.
Hey, congrats. Is that a PR?
That is a PR. Yeah.
Hey, let's go. That's amazing. Give Ben some love because that's incredible. And so it's not just about having that one business, because having one income stream, that's also risky. There's one thing that maybe your practice gets shut down. Maybe another pandemic hits and your practice gets shut down. But now you're stuck and you don't have an income stream. And so the other element and the other side of having a lifestyle business is turning your service into a true asset that produces passively, whether you're there working in it or not, and then being able to reallocate those funds and assets into other financial income streams so that you're stacking the deck in your favor, where now you have all the leverage in the world, where it doesn't matter if one financial stream shuts down because you have these other ones that were funded by the initial investment stream. And now your life, your family, the impact you're able to have is operating on an entirely different level. And that's where true financial and time freedom comes from. But it starts from realizing that you're trapped in your business and making the decision and commitment to yourself that you're going to put yourself in a different position so that you can have something that you know is going to protect and provide for you and your family, whether you're on a beach somewhere or you're working on a passion project at home. And that's what Ben gets to do every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's the big thing. It's like the freedom to choose. That's what it all comes down to. How do you want to spend your days?
Right. I certainly don't want to spend it having to work with whoever will pay me and being at their becking whim and call and not having the ability to focus on other things in life that make me happy, because we don't want to just work. That's not what life's about. Life's about being able to pour into our loved ones, being able to laugh as much as humanly possible, being able to take time to just decompress and contemplate like what it is that we really want our life to mean. And we're more than just physical therapists. We're more than just business owners. And if you're not building a business with the intent of making your life easier and the world better, then you probably shouldn't even get involved with entrepreneurship, because it is going to make your life harder. In entrepreneurship, your life has to get harder before it gets better. And most of you, because of the lies that are being spewed from coaches that are out there, all you're doing is making your life substantially harder and wearing it like a badge of honor. Where's the honor in that?
Yeah, I see that so often. And it's usually people that would like to scale, but they don't want to, go through the heartache and just the difficulty of what it takes to do it as well. And you go back to, you said something earlier about, it's kind of a tangent here, but you said something earlier about you started your own business. Now you don't have a boss. But what people don't realize is now you have 20 bosses. Who are those 20 bosses? Your 20 patients. That's who you report to. That's who you're responding to. And so I think that's also something that I didn't realize, that really at that point where it's just me, I did have bosses. I had 20 of them, 25, and they were all my patients, right? Those are your bosses now. So now you're reporting to multiple people. So I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize as well until they get into the mix of it. So really just what I'm trying to do is forecast for you guys, so you know what is upcoming if you're not quite at the stage yet, or thinking about making this jump and making this leap. I do feel strongly that if you really want to have a lifestyle business, you have to go into entrepreneurship with the understanding that you're going to need to hire a team to get your time back and have the lifestyle that you want as well.
Right. Because it's all about creating leverage. You left your job and started your practice. Probably, you never intended to be a practice owner. You never intended to be an entrepreneur. You were forced into it by unfair circumstances, and you're just dealing with it, not realizing that in your effort to create more leverage within your life, you gave up all of your leverage because you didn't see far enough. You didn't create a big enough of a vision for what it is that you actually wanted. And if what you truly want is to have more time freedom, to be able to be a more present parent, to be a better partner to your spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend, whatever it might be, then you need to be able to take control. And in order to do that, you're going to have to relinquish control first, because growth and control are opposing forces. And many of you are stuck within your businesses and you're not growing because you are terrified to give up that control. And rightfully so. Building a team and building systems and asking for help and investing in coaching, all of these things take a very real sense of courage, because you have to step into the unknown in order for you to grow. It's just the nature of growth. It is unpredictable. It is chaotic, and you can't move forward without it, right? And so hiring a team is terrifying, but not half as terrifying as being stuck exactly where you are for the next 5-10 years or until you retire. Yeah, if you're listening to this, do you want to be exactly where you are 10 years from now, 5 years from now? What is it you want your life to look like? And once you decide what that is, then we can start to have the discussion about like, okay, how do we get there? And most of you are greatly overestimating what you can do in 90 days, but tremendously underestimating what you can do in 12. I know Ben, 12 months in Ben's life is absolutely crazy how fast you grow. I think, Ben, where were you? Like when we first met, I think you were doing like maybe 500K a year, and then the next year you did over $1 million.
Yeah, I think
Is that right?
we met. That was in early 2020. We were doing probably about $250,000 at that point. And yeah, then the following year we were doing $1 million. Now we're doing 2 million. So yeah, things can change really quickly if you're leveraged. I have to realize that you made a good point, Jordan, about I realized that, hey, if I don't hire, I'm going to continue to do this for 5 years, 10 years. There's nowhere to grow. There's nowhere, like, how do you really go upwards from here? I'm capped out. I can't see more than 25 patients a week personally. That was my cap. And I was working 68 hours. It's like, there's no way I can possibly see more patients. And also, if you really want to make a bigger impact, you're only one person. How big of an impact can you make directly when you're just delivering all the services? If you bring on a team, now we help. Last month, we helped over 400 individual patients. If this was just me, we would have been capped at like 25, 30. Right. So you're just able to really make a bigger impact on people's lives, and kind of your ethical obligation to grow and scale. If you have a product that is really solid, it's your ethical obligation to grow and scale that. And that's what I chose to do with ProProtect. We have a team that can help 400 individual people every single month.
That's always a fun debate when I have with some people who are like just brand new at entrepreneurship, and they want to charge lower prices because they want to be able to help more people, not realizing it's like, that's not how money works. And that's not why people invest in things. They don't invest in things because they're cheap. That's not why people buy stuff. And I had this debate with somebody, and they ended up coming around and seeing things the way that we see it, where they didn't want to increase the rates because they wanted to help more people. But then I showed them one of our clients who went from doing like $0 a month to now where he's now doing $50,000 a month, and using the additional profits that he's created from having higher prices, he's now created a nonprofit specifically for helping those populations. And so it's like, who's helping more people? And can we help more people with more money and more leverage? Or can we help more people when it's just us and we're not leveraged? And it's just like the scope of people's vision for what they can do is understandable, but it's actually, it's really, really sad, because just in the last year, we've helped 7 of our clients who on average started with us doing around $12,000. We actually have all the data to show this, but the average client started with us doing around $12,000. And those who have now gone on to build 7-figure practices, on average are doing around $700,000. And so in 18 to 2 months, they've generated over $1 million since working with us, are now averaging $67,000 a month, started with us at $12,000. That is a massive life change in just a year and a half to 2 years. On average, the clients who have worked with us for just a year, on average, they start with us doing just under $10,000 a month. Whereas today, on average, the clients who have worked with us for a year are now doing $37,000 a month. So on average, in 12 months, they've added an additional $27,000 a month to their practice while having better systems and more delegated tasks, so they actually have more time. So not only are they more leveraged and have more time freedom, they have an extra $27,000 to play around with. So they're going on more vacations, they're being more present partners and parents, and they're doing more of the things that they just love to do in life, where they're taking longer weekends and taking days off during the week and taking their kids to the zoo midday or surfing midweek. And it's crazy how much people's lives can actually change. And it has very little to do with the actual strategies and tactics that they're implementing. Okay, what's creating these lifestyle businesses for people where they have true time and financial leverage, it has much more to do with what they actually believe they can do. And it starts with just like seeing, it's like, what you're doing isn't a lifestyle business, it's torture, where you don't get to spend as much time with your spouse. They're wondering why you're working so hard, why you're working so hard, why you're working on the weekends. You're not able to spend as much time with your kids because you're doing workshops over the weekends. You don't even have time for hobbies. You don't even remember what yours were. And your life isn't nearly as fulfilled as it could be because you're afraid of taking that next step in the entrepreneurial journey of building systems, building operations, and giving someone else the opportunity to change their life and get out of the hospital system you escaped from by coming in and working with you. And it's the first step is realizing that you can do that, and it's not half as scary as what you're likely currently doing within your business.
Yeah. Like I said, guys, this is the toughest part of my business was the lifestyle business where I was treating 20 and 25 patients and didn't have a team. That was the toughest part. Growing and scaling a team is much easier than staying in that for months, let alone years, 5 years, 10 years. I can't imagine.
And I will say, right now, for many of you, there's probably no better feeling than seeing your patients' lives change because of the work that you've been able to do with them. But you would be shocked at how fulfilling it is and how rewarding it is to be able to change the life of someone who comes in and joins your team, who finally has their dream job where they're appreciated, respected, and gets to treat patients the way that they know they should be treated. And when you are able to change the life of someone who not only works for you, but works for you because they believe in what you're building, they believe in you as an individual, when their life starts to change because they chose to believe and invest in you, that is the greatest feeling in the entire world. I'd imagine the only feeling that could be better than helping your own team win and seeing their life change is seeing that happen within your own children. I'd imagine that's the only thing. I don't consider my team like children, but it is that same kind of love and that respect of these people are depending on you, and you're able to deliver on that and be able to see that change. That kind of validation within your own self is truly, truly a blessing that changes you for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that we just had one of our clients, Brady. He was kind of on the fence about growing a team or not, and now he has. He brought on his first PT a few months ago, and he's like being able to see them. Really, he pretty much essentially rescued them from potentially leaving the profession, and that was a really big fulfillment event for him. Realizing, hey, my goal is no longer just to serve patients; it's to serve my fellow colleagues and fellow physical therapists, be able to stay within the profession. Last 2 years, I saw some crazy stat: 22% of physical therapists left the profession. Again, it just goes. I really think it's our ethical obligation. Entrepreneurship is not right for everybody, and so it's our ethical obligation to really grow and scale practices so we can create jobs for them so they don't have to leave the profession. They can't stay where they're currently at in high volume mills, but they also can't do entrepreneurship. Where do these people go? The only way that they can stay within this profession if cash-based practices choose to grow and scale and not stay at this lifestyle business. I think it's also honestly selfish to stay at that. You need to be growing and scaling so you can help some of these people not have to leave the profession. And it's our duties to do so, in my opinion.
100%. The physical therapy industry is changing so incredibly fast. And in order for it to reach the pinnacle of what I believe it can reach within the next 10 to 15 years, where the public's perception of what it is starts to change, where they're starting to schedule monthly, quarterly check-ins and tune-ups the same way they do with the dentist, that change is 100% coming because the treatment model is changing. Who it is that we're serving is evolving a little bit. And this change is only going to be brought about by hungry and determined physical therapy entrepreneurs who are sick of the status quo, who are sick of being told what it is they can and can't do, are sick of the red tape, and just finally decide for themselves that they are going to build their vision of what they know physical therapy is and can be, and create a safe haven and a new expectation for the DPT students who are in school for what they should be expecting out of the workplace. The industry needs leaders to step up and drive this innovation. And you're either going to be a cog in the wheel that gets crushed by the system and you ride that out until maybe one day you can retire and maybe pick up some part-time job to stay afloat, or you decide to leave the profession entirely because you know that you're not going to be able to have the type of life and retirement that you want within this profession, or you're going to start your own business, create the next evolution of what physical therapy is, or you're going to be an individual who goes and joins one of these forward-thinking practices who's changing the game of what physical therapy looks like. To me, right now, a lot of people are talking about how glum the industry looks, but to me, all I see is the excitement and all the things that people have been complaining to the APTA about for the last 10 years. All of that change is finally happening because people are now taking it upon themselves to create that change. So I'm really excited. I think the next 10 to 15 years are going to be really, really amazing in the physical therapy industry. But it's, again, to loop it back in, it's going to be built by those of you who understand that you need to build something bigger than yourself, who have that it's going to be built by those of you who have a vision that's as big as the world around you, and you're willing to lead that charge and also take the responsibility of helping physical therapists keep their passion for what it is they do by creating the right work environments for them to be able to thrive in. So that's the future, baby.
Yep.
Cash physical therapy entrepreneurs.
Yep. APTA is not saving anybody.
Yeah.
How's that worked out for us for the last 10 years? Declining reimbursement rates every single year. So yeah, it's on us. Nobody's coming to save us. It's on us to do it. And we see hundreds of people doing that and making a change and making a difference. So there's no reason that others can't as well.
Right. So if you see things the way Ben and I do, and you're looking to build a 30K, 50K, 100K plus per month cash practice, where you have a bigger vision, where you want to change the industry, where you want to create jobs and dream jobs that are really going to change the hearts and minds of physical therapists who are considering leaving the profession, this podcast is for you. You're absolutely in the right place. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. If you got value out of this, or you know somebody who you think needs to hear this message, make sure to share it with them through whatever channel you found us on. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, comments, please drop them below. We'd love to get back to you and answer your questions, as well as give us ideas for future podcast episodes. Thanks for listening, everybody. Later.